Weekend.
Thanks for joining us. I'm David Mulco, and we begin with an update on breaking news and a second mass shooting in California. Tonight, the community of Half Moon Bay, that's about half an hour south of San Francisco, is mourning the loss of 7 people. Police say a gunman shot and killed 4 of them at a mushroom farm, then another 3 at a trucking firm nearby. Investigators have arrested a suspect. They've identified him as 67-year-old Chun-Li Zhao. At the time, police say he was parked outside a sheriff's office substation. A city council member says the victims were farm workers of Chinese descent. No word on a motive at this point, but investigators say they believe that suspect acted alone. From there, let's head south to Monterey Park, just outside Los Angeles, where tonight we are learning chilling new details about the mass shooting over the weekend in a ballroom dance studio where people were celebrating the Lunar New Year. And that includes new video of the man authorities say eventually stopped the gunman. NBC's Jay Gray with the update.
Good evening. We are learning a lot more tonight about the deadly attack inside the dance hall just behind us that left 11 dead and the man police say is responsible. Investigators now say 42 rounds were fired inside the club here and that the suspects seemed to be walking across the dance floor and targeting certain individuals. They say this wasn't a terror attack, that it was actually driven by personal motivation, a vendetta. They don't know the motive at this point, but say that they are confident that this, again, was not a terror act. We also know that when he left this club, he went to another dance hall about 20 minutes away and was stopped there by an employee at the front door. We're seeing video for the first time of the 2 men wrestling and Brandon Say, the employee there, eventually taking his 9mm semi-automatic pistol. He talked about that fight earlier today.
He started to try to prep his weapons so he could shoot everybody. But then it dawned on me that this was the moment to disarm him. I could do something here that could protect everybody and potentially save myself.
As the investigation continues, police are quick to point out that this is going to take some time, that they've got a lot of work to do here. And at this point, they say there is no clear motive in the killing spree. That's the latest from here in Monterey Park. I'm Jay Gray. Back to you now.
And today we heard from an Oregon lawmaker with friends in Monterey Park. State Representative Thuy Tran from Portland says the violence is simply hitting too close to home.
And I hope this shooting does not be representative of what the new norm can be. It is very sad for the communities in California, Southern California, as well as for the Asian community. We all have families and friends throughout the state.
Well, one of Tran's friends who was a member at the ballroom said the gunman was also part of that community and had been dancing at the studio for over 20 years. Developing locally tonight, new video gives us a sense just how long a shootout involving a suspect and Salem police lasted this morning. A warning, while this was recorded from a bit of a distance, you may find the sound of the shots, and there are a lot of them, disturbing. The video's from a KGW viewer who was driving nearby at the time. Take a look.
Bubba, get down. Bubba, put your head down, Bub. Put your head down.
That was about 15 seconds there. Those shots continue for another 10 as more police rush to the scene. Our Mike Benner spent the day in Salem and talked to witnesses who watched it all unfold.
Late Monday morning at the corner of Kubler and Commercial in Salem, investigators fly a drone in hopes of getting a better look at the scene of a deadly police shooting.
I've never seen anything like this before.
This man's in shock by what started as an armed robbery in the Walmart parking lot. We're told as officers with the Salem Police Department responded, the suspect ran to the nearby Planet Fitness, then across the street to Napa Auto Parts. It's here where officers exchanged gunfire with the suspect.
He turned around and he shot a couple times, and then the cops shot back, which they should have, and they hit him a couple times. He fell to the ground. He got back up. He didn't get totally back up. He just leaned up back up and started shooting again. Then the cops started shooting him about 6 or 8 times and really hit him.
You can hear the gunfire in this video. Witnesses, including this woman who wanted to remain anonymous, recall hearing dozens of gunshots.
It's pretty scary. We locked up shop and just head to the back behind the concrete wall to make sure nobody got a stray bullet or anything.
Fortunately, there were no injuries to bystanders or police, but we're told the suspect was killed in the shooting. Troubling if you ask the man who owns the property where it happened.
It's a shame that you don't know if he's on drugs or mental problems.
And that's sure to be part of the investigation that had a stretch of Commercial Street in Salem shut down for much of the day Monday.
I've never seen somebody die like that. But the cops, they did a good job. They had to do what they had to do. That's what I'm telling you.
I'm Mike Benner for KGW News.
To get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now, a woman says she was carjacked Saturday afternoon at the Vancouver Mall by two teenagers. She describes one of the teens coming up behind her with a knife, telling her to hand over her keys.
I wasn't going to challenge what they were doing. It was at that point I thought, you have the knife and you're this stupid to approach somebody in broad daylight, you can have my key. It's my car versus my life.
Shortly after, Vancouver police spotted the suspects but weren't able to stop them until they were 17 miles away in Clackamas County. A 13 and 14-year-old are both in custody. Paige Williams there was not injured, but says her car is totaled. Well, staying in Vancouver, police have put out an alert about a missing 8-year-old boy. His name is Bredson John, and the circumstances here appear a bit odd based on the information we have. Authorities say they first started looking for him back in June after a welfare check at a Vancouver home. The FBI is also involved. Agents have tried to contact multiple family members of the boy. Officials say Bredson's grandparents, who were his last known guardians, have recently been charged with custodial interference. If you recognize him, you're asked to contact Vancouver Police. And Oregon has launched a new hotline aimed at giving people free legal advice related to reproductive rights. The project is driven by Oregon's Department of Justice and will be staffed by local law firms. Oregon's Attorney General said the Supreme Court ruling overturning Roe v. Wade last year created confusion and fear, even in a state where abortion rights are still protected. Well, new tonight, could 2023 finally be the year things turn around for downtown Portland? That is the hope for so many businesses looking for solutions and, most of all, customers. And a big piece of that has to do with daily foot traffic, with getting people back into offices. Though, as Catherine Cook shows us in the Rose City, that is still not happening fast enough.
Monday afternoon in downtown Portland. A day blessed by scattered sun rays and the hope of busier days ahead. But for Hans Arawaz, that hope of more customers,
we expect it to be better, to be honest,
is getting tougher to hold on to after 3 years.
And we start seeing more movement and more life in downtown, but we're way far from reaching the pre-pandemic situation.
Arawaz owns a Taste of Greek on Southwest 2nd. His food cart is now an island of sorts.
This is a grim reality. Like my neighbor, I had a couple neighbors, they just moved out because of the lack of business and lack of movement and lack of safety also.
The downtown is an ecosystem. And so when there's a disruption to that ecosystem, everybody's affected.
Jonathan Bach is a staff reporter at the Portland Business Journal. He recently tracked the latest numbers for office vacancy in downtown Portland. According to CBRE Global Commercial Real Estate Services, office vacancy topped 27% in the fourth quarter of 2022. That's up 1% from the third quarter.
The numbers in there represent a more than doubling of those pre-pandemic office vacancy rates, according to CBRE.
In contrast, Bach says the vacancy rate in Portland's suburbs was 15%. On Sunday, J. Crew closed its Pioneer Place location without providing a specific reason. A block away on Southwest 4th and Morrison, another vacant space. Starbucks closed this location last year, citing safety concerns. Despite challenges, many downtown businesses are holding fast, including Kel's Irish Pub.
It's a lot better than it was 6 months ago, for example. 100% better.
For a time, owner Jared McAleese considered selling this location, which is no longer on the market. While they too are feeling the pain of thin lunchtime crowds, McAleese hopes support for downtown businesses will grow.
listen to us, listen to the shopkeepers the mom and pops of downtown that makes Portland unique in its own way. And those are the people that are crying out for help, but they never ask for help.
Back at the food cart, Arwas says most of his customers now are strangers. But as some workers return to even part-time in the office,
hybrid is better than nothing.
It provides the kind of hope he can't let go of.
When I see somebody from the pre-pandemic, I really get, happy because we feel like things start to come to normal.
Downtown Portland is seeing some growth from new and returning businesses. I spoke by phone tonight with Sydney Mead. She's Senior Director of Downtown Programs with the Portland Business Alliance. She believes as this year progresses, more people will return to the office, not because they have to, but because they want to. David.
Glass half full there, and you know what, Catherine? We all have a part to play here. Thanks, Catherine.